All right, so if you take stats, I don't know if you take stats or not, but if you do take stats, you know there's a formula for finding the standard deviation of a data set. However, on the SAT, you don't need to know how to find the standard deviation. What you do need to know is, in general, what the standard deviation is talking about. So standard deviation overall is just talking about how spread out the data set is. So how spread out the data is. It doesn't matter if it's a set of very large values or a set of very small values. And what I mean by that is if I have a data set of 2, 3, 3, 7, and I have a data set of 22, 23, 23, 27, even though data set B has larger numbers, see how they're spread out in the same way? These two are going to have the same standard deviation. So let's look at this problem here. We have frequencies of data for two data sets, P and Q. Which data set best compares the mean A and standard deviation B of data set P? So data set P has a mean of A, and the standard deviation is B. Sometimes I like to write this down to make sure I get the variables right. And data set Q has a mean of C and a standard deviation of D. So we need to compare these two. Let's first take a look at the means. Now, you can calculate the mean, and that's fine, but you don't need to waste your time doing it. Do you know why? Well, let's take a look at the frequency of these. These are spread out the same way, data set P and data set Q. So I can actually skip to the standard deviation. These are the same number of each values. They're going to show the same shape if we were to graph these. So that means that the standard deviations are the same. So I know that B has to equal D. So I can eliminate D and I can eliminate A, and now I'm down to B and C. So if I take a look at these, the means of them, I know they're not going to be the same. Because they have different values, but they have the same standard deviation, I know that the mean of this data set P, all of these smaller values, is going to create a mean that is less than data set Q, which has all of these bigger values. So that means A has to be less than C. So the answer here is B.